Hello from Jonathan and me, welcome to the programme.
First tonight, health officials have begun an investigation after it emerged that a convicted child rapist was employed as an occupational therapist at hospitals in Essex.
Samuel Odinga admitted raping a 14-year-old girl in the United States in 2002, yet he was still able to come to the UK and get a job working for the NHS in Colchester.
It wasn't until his colleagues googled him on the internet that they found out about his criminal past, as Emma Becker now reports.
It's a simple exercise that takes just minutes. But when Colchester NHS staff googled their fellow occupational therapist Samuel Odinga, they uncovered a dark secret. He was a child rapist, convicted in the United States in 2002. Yet he'd been working for the NHS in Colchester for 4 years, without the truth being known. Now Essex MP Bob Russell wants answers.
I have to take the view that the checks were not thorough enough, because if somebody can find out on Google about this person's record, then the officials should have been. And I will certainly be pursuing this at parliamentary level with questions about the Criminal Records Bureau, how the Department for Health vets people from overseas, checking on their past, because clearly something has gone seriously wrong here.
Originally a Kenyan national, Odinga worked as an occupational therapist. Despite his conviction, he managed to slip through the net. In 2002, Odinga admitted child rape in Missouri. He was put on probation. In 2003, he left the USA for the UK. He didn't declare his conviction. In 2004, Odinga began working with patients at Colchester General and Essex County hospitals. In 2008, a colleague googled his name and discovered his past. Odinga was suspended, then sacked. Later this year, Odinga will face a health professions hearing. No one from the Colchester NHS Trust was available for interview today, but in a statement they say they followed all the correct procedures when employing Mr Odinga, and they didn't receive any allegation of improper conduct regarding his work here. The UK border agency also wasn't available to comment today, but it says it uses international watch lists and the latest technology to refuse entry to foreign nationals known to present a threat to the UK. If it had known about Odinga's conviction, he would not have been let into the country.
This chap, as I understand it, came from America, and of course, to a degree, you have to rely on the systems that are in place, and I'm not sure how detailed the relationship is between the American authorities and the British authorities. Certainly within the EC, I think the problem would have been picked up a lot sooner, and to a degree you have to rely on the trust of the applicant.
A health professions hearing will take place next week to decide Odinga's future. Colchester Hospital NHS Foundation Trust says it'll be watching the outcome to see if there's any more steps that could have been taken to prevent such a situation arising. Emma Baker, Anglia News, Colchester.
The wife of a teacher who could go to jail for carrying a boy out of class after he refused to stop telling racist jokes has spoken of her disgust at the way her husband's been treated.
Michael Becker from Sutton near Ipswich was found guilty of assault by South East Suffolk Magistrates Court. But since the trial, hundreds of people from around the world have written in support of him. Martin Stew has more.
Hitting the headlines for all the wrong reasons. After 31 years of exemplary service as a teacher, Michael Becker from Sutton near Ipswich is facing the possibility of jail for carrying a pupil out of the classroom who was telling a racist joke. He was found guilty of assault after he grabbed the boy with one hand on his collar and the other on the waistband of his trousers and carried into a storeroom which had a door and a window. The boy's parents took the matter to the police. Mr Becker didn't want to appear on camera today as he's yet to be sentenced, but his wife told me of her anger at how he's been treated.
My husband did ask the child to stop doing what he was doing. 4 or 5 times he did ask the child to go out. The child refused. The child started to run away from him. What else do you expect a man to do? Children think that they have all the rights, that you're not allowed to touch me. I don't think children realise that there is a law that teachers have to maintain order in class.
Since Mr Becker's story appeared in the national papers, more than 500 people from around the world have written in letters sympathising with him. And since then, it's become a hot topic on national papers' chat forums. One reader wrote in to say, "It's obvious that Mr Becker took the boy out of the class as a last resort. It's all this reasoning with kids that's left us where we are today. Another said the teacher had the right to be tried by a jury and should have taken it. But one also writes the teacher was wrong to hurl the pupil out of the classroom. What a way to treat somebody. If you want respect, you have to earn it. Surely at 62 years of age, he should know that.
Poor man. Yeah, well.
Mr Becker's neighbours John and Vicky Luke think the whole thing is wrong.
I feel terribly sorry for teachers who have to try and keep control nowadays. But particularly I feel so sorry for Michael, who doesn't deserve this. It's dreadful.
This man's given his whole life to teaching them. There should be fairness. And they bring all these rules in. There's more and more rules in this country and less fairness.
Mr Becker could face up to 6 months in jail.
And they've found him guilty, give him a fine or do community service, but no, they've left it open so he could go to prison. This just seems totally unjust.
He'll be sentenced on the 23rd. Martin Stew, Anglia News, Sutton.
A man has died in hospital nearly a month after a crash in Luton involving a fire engine. The engine was answering a 999 call when it was in collision with a family car at a set of traffic lights on Friday, September the 11th. 5 people inside, the man, a woman and 3 younger girls, were all injured. The man died in hospital last night. 5 firefighters were also hurt.
A physicist from Cambridge University has won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. 57-year-old Venkatraman Ramakrishnan, who was born in India but now has American citizenship, is a senior research fellow at Trinity College. He's won the prize for his work on the DNA ribosome structure, which will further the understanding of the chemical processes that create life. He shares the award with 2 other scientists from America and Israel.